Okay, am I doing this or are you doing this?
You can do it.
Okay, welcome to Kaleidoscope, our attempt at a podcast thing, media of sorts.
After
Who
years.
knows? Exactly. We'll figure out what this thing becomes, if it becomes anything, but hey, we're doing the thing because that's what we got to do in the year 2022 when we're still stuck in the middle of a pandemic and just hoping for the best. Might as well try to find whatever we can to stay sane, you know?
Stay sane. I mean, be creative. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I guess we could just jump into introductions. Or do you want to talk about, like, what it's about, I guess? I was going to say, like,
This is a great start. We're doing great. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
Let's
not
just keep
nervous
rolling.
at all. No.
What are you talking about? No. So what is this? Well, yeah, ultimately we're trying to make a podcast or some form of video,
Something.
audio,
Yeah.
something or other, where mainly it'll be kind of our life chats, our usual kind of chats that we'd have with each other, because we figured might as well use them, for good use in terms of just creatively challenging ourselves. We've been told we're quite funny, after all, when we talk with each other.
I mean, who knows how honest they were, or how good their actual taste of humor was.
True. I don't know if they're.
I know a
the
couple
best
people
judge of
said
character.
that, and they were definitely.
Now that I think of it, what were we thinking? What are we doing?
I know, let's just stop this.
Okay, no. But for real, like we decided to try this just kind of to challenge ourselves, to see, what we could do with it. We're both kind of in the need for that right now in our lives. And
Yep.
yeah, just to stop overthinking it, do the thing.
Yep.
We don't know what we're doing, and that's not going to stop us.
And it's taken us a while. Like we started, I remember, so like background, Gerry and I used to live together. We're old roommates, and it's been we lived together for like what, 2 years ish?
On and off because COVID. But ish. Pretty much.
But like we message each other a lot, even when we were in the same house.
All the time. I was on the second floor.
Yeah, we would just be up till like 1 texting.
Exactly.
Just saying really odd things and being silly together. And then I think one night we were like joking around, just being like, we should start like a shop for introverted people.
Yes, that's what it was.
Like, yeah, it was like the merch shop. And just
yes,
like a bunch
that's
of,
what it was.
Crazy things. And then I remember like we just kind of we joked about it for a while, and then like we eventually left our condo because it was the whole thing. It worked out well for. I think it was just great for all of us timing wise.
Yeah, exactly.
But like our landlord sold it. Yeah, and then
we didn't decide to leave each other because we couldn't stand each other anymore. Like,
well,
although
I mean, I was happier when I left you, but like
same,
it could have been anything.
Same.
Yeah,
exactly.
My life is just so much better now that I'm miles and miles away.
Exactly. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Left and I was like, oh, there is a God.
Exactly.
But no, we get along well still. It's been I think over no, it hasn't been even a year, because we moved out like last May or something. So it's coming up on a year that we've been not living together. That sounds really weird. It sounds like we were like dating or something.
I know.
But
we've been through a lot one way or another, Well, to be determined how much I end up sharing over time. I'm an oversharer, so like stuff's gonna come out. Oops.
Well, why do you think we're doing a podcast? Really, like airing our dirty laundry.
We have no dignity.
Strangers on the internet. No,
we also showed up. Let's just be honest. How professional do we look? Like, come on.
Yeah, and don't tell anyone, but I'm wearing pajamas under here, so.
What?
I mean, COVID, right? Like
exactly.
My work meetings, I'm never wearing pants. Like they never know. Like
they'll never know.
Client never knows. I look legit from my shoulders up, and yeah, I haven't worn pants in how many days? So it's a good life.
It's a great life.
Mm-hmm.
No, so yeah, but point being that we're no longer roommates, and this is just another way I think for us to just keep in touch and just have fun with it. So yeah,
have fun. Yeah, because like I I've been through a bunch of stuff lately, and like Gerry has been there for me through it all. And I think that's what like that's what's kept us both connected. I think like not what I've been going through, but also like just like we're both not the kind of people that
We've
really
all
tend to stay in touch with people who aren't near us,
no,
but I think that
no.
like we've
We've
really
always been on the
managed
same yeah, we've always been kind of on the same
wavelength.
same wavelength.
Yeah.
Like with it, and even within the like back when we used to live with each other, like we four girls under the same roof. It's amazing that we didn't all strangle each other because we all actually like hung out with each other.
It
Like
was
that's
close. It was close.
yeah,
Sometimes.
few close calls. But point being that I think like amongst the four of us, like yeah, no, and especially like you at least had your cavern in the basement. I was on the second floor with the other two extroverts. Ugh,
Well, I was distracted, but I also did like my own time. Like that's the other thing. Like
no,
I'm not a
exactly.
needy person, and that's why our friendship works
No,
so well because we're both
we just
like
get it.
introverts and we don't really care to have people around us, which is like terrible, but like and I think that's why we don't like I've never felt like I struggled to keep in contact with you. Like I always like we always I think we always managed to call like every couple weeks. Like we've
Or
zoomed a lot
something. And
and like we would text and catch up. Like I feel like I've kept a pretty solid like eye on you, and same for you.
yeah, well, I
Especially
mean,
recently. Again, you've
yeah,
been with me through all this crap that I'm going through, but like
yeah. But I mean, like, I think, like, we were definitely, I think, mutually, like, it was never a, oh, ugh, I have to, should I message, should I message Joy? Do I feel like, no, it was always like, oh, I want to catch up, like, of all the people, because again, like, yeah, introverts and I just find it so hard to reach out. My executive dysfunction kills me there where like it's just so hard to reach out. So like there's certain people that it comes just much more easily and naturally, and you are definitely one of those people. Thank goodness. Because I have very strong hermit tendencies and that's not good for me.
yes,
So
yes.
this will be good for me in different ways. It'll be good for both of us. So yeah,
Yeah.
but to get
It'll keep
into
us
maybe
busy.
more proper introductions of
Mhm.
the wacky hosts, if we can even call ourselves that at this point. Let's not
I
get
think we're
ahead
all
of
just along
ourselves.
for the ride. Yeah, yeah. We're just
Whatever this is.
we're
Yeah.
vibing. The only thing you
Yeah.
said that was really true was wacky for sure. But
Obviously.
tell us a little bit about your shelf, Gerry.
My shelf.
Your
Well,
shelf.
my shelf. Well, do we want to even do the whole name thing? Because fun
Yeah, do the name
fact,
thing.
yeah, because fun fact, my name isn't actually Gerry. It is
I know.
I know, big reveal. No,
Mhm.
tis not my real name, but was the chosen name in the condo because my name
The
was
chosen one.
exactly, because my name was very similar to another one of our roommates, and we knew that it was gonna just throw everybody off, and just especially with the way that it was written, it was just not gonna work.
No. In fact,
And
I was the one that was like, I can't do this. Don't
exactly,
make me.
you
I was like, I'm
specifically,
not smart enough for this. My brain
exact,
can't handle it.
yeah, no. So
Um,
we went with Gerry, which is a bit of a long story, and I'll save that for another time, if ever. But point
no,
being,
I'll make you tell it. Don't worry.
yeah, exactly, it'll
I
come
got you,
up at some
fam.
point.
Yeah.
Always, I
Yeah.
can always
Yeah.
count on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but point being that that's what I went with because it's kind of like a long time sort of nickname or online username that I've used, and I was like, you could just go with that, and you immediately were like, yes, this is it. You are now Gerry, and because I heard it so much, like I responded to it, like it just became second nature for me. I was
It
like, I am
became more
Gerry.
likely that you responded to Gerry than your own name. And my
Yeah,
parents like tried to call you that like your name at the beginning. And then
yeah,
I think they just got pulled into Gerry. So now
yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
yeah,
I
like have you
know.
seen Gerry? And it's
It
so
was so
funny.
funny, but I still love the fact that I gave your parents false hope at the beginning, the first time where you were like, "Oh yeah, I was hanging out with Jared," like oh, Jerry, and it's like
Oh yeah.
my roommate, my roommate.
I think I actually told them that it was a boy. And my dad was like, no, you're lying. He was too afraid to get hope. And I was like, yeah, Jerry's my
Yeah, no,
roommate.
tis Jerry. But I think that was also just about another fun part for me was that the look on people's faces the first time we'd go anywhere and you present me as Jerry, like you could see it in their faces.
The
And I mean,
confusion, the fear.
yeah, like just a little bit, like
Yeah.
just there's a double take. There's always a double take, and I get a kick out of that every single time. And I mean, back then I had slightly longer hair too, so like there was that much more of a just like what. So it was hilarious to me every single time. But yeah, no. So long story short, and there are going to be a lot of these here.
We'll try not to get too carried away, but they tend to, yeah, we tend
Yeah,
to
no. So
sidetrack.
yeah, I'm Jerry, and I have ADHD. If you couldn't tell already, this is why I'm going to be long-winded or very, very verbose. Bear with me. And
I'll
yeah,
yell at you if
no,
you get too much. Don't worry.
yeah, no, and pretty much, yeah. Other than
That's
that,
all you are.
all I am. No,
You're just Jerry and ADHD. You have no other personality.
oh,
That's
at
literally all
all.
you are.
No,
Hi, I'm
no,
Jerry and I'm ADHD.
no,
Okay,
and
bye.
exactly. No, no. I think it's been a much bigger part of my life ever since I found out at a later age, which was fun.
Hmm.
Which is why I'll probably bring it up quite often. But I mean, I'm also extremely neurotic, as you would know. Um,
I
I've
mean,
gotten better, and you helped me a lot for that. You balanced me out very nicely for that. But I'm a very highly neurotic individual. I'm very anxious at baseline, so like that's always been fun. It's a great mix. It's a nice
that's
cocktail.
why I'm more
ADHD plus
anxious. That's why I'm
yeah,
more anxious than you now. So that you can't think about your own problems. You have to think about mine. I'm
exactly.
like, Jerry. And you're like, yes, yes, it's okay. It's okay. We got this. So you're welcome.
Exactly.
You're
Well,
welcome.
it's just I'm so used to it that like seeing another person who's anxious, I'm like, oh, anxiety. Hello, my old friend. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't scare me. I'm like,
You're
I'm
just
used
like,
to
come
this.
on, come in. Like it's
Come in.
yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
It's the same old, same old. We've been here before.
Exactly. No. So those
Yeah.
are two big things about me. Introverted for sure. Uh and wacky, zany, a little bit odd because or outside of that, who knows. I think of myself as being funny. I hope it's true. Uh, other than that, yeah, I love your face. Your face says it all. I get it. I get it. I get it. Other than that, I'm also known as the smart one, generally speaking.
Yes.
I was the holder of brain cells in the
Mm-hmm.
condo for a good
Mm-hmm.
reason because we all know what happened
Mm-hmm.
every single time I gave them to you guys. Just
We used to have 5, and then we lost 3. So you just held on to the rest.
I
Um,
yeah,
that's how we made it through. To be honest, Jerry
yeah.
held the 2 brain cells.
At all
Cells.
times. I gave you the other
Occasionally.
I kept one at all times. The other one I gave you on special occasions every so often
Yeah,
when you
like
made a
when
good enough
I
face.
yeah, like when I really need it for something important, like I can't even think of something because really it didn't happen often because my life is very, very underwhelming. But
Yeah. No. And I mean to be
we
fair,
have
this
to date.
like yeah, no, and I mean like to be fair, I was also doing graduate studies, so I did need brain cell
you
at
not
that
you
moment.
you needed it more.
I needed to brain quite a
And I'm
bit.
such a generous person, so like,
I
you
know.
know. I
Just
was like, it's okay, Jerry. Like I have someone who loves me even though I'm dumb, and it's you keep the 2 brain cells. You keep them. It's okay, I got you, fam. And you were like, it's really how you made it through like your degree. Really,
I
just those
know.
2
I
brain cells.
know.
Just
Yeah, because now here I am, finished my master's program, full-fledged speech therapist, and about a week and somewhat ish, more or less, away from starting my first job ever. So that's something
woo.
that'll probably come up at a further date in some
Oh,
form or
100%.
fashion
100%.
because I've been just kind of losing my mind, especially last week. Last week was really bad. It kind of just hit me really hard. So I spent a good part of last week being utterly overwhelmed. It was good times. I'm better now.
Are you
But
indeed? Are you indeed?
I mean, at least right now I'm okay. Who's to say in the next half hour what
We
that's going
sign
to
off
be?
and you're just like no, I'm
Exactly.
kidding. That would be me. That would be me. and I'll text you and I'll be like, I need your help.
I
So
can't
I
do this.
think
I'm
we're
not
both,
strong enough.
yeah, I think we're both a little bit of a mess. Well, I'm probably more of a mess than you, but you
I
have your
I
struggles.
Yeah, I look like I have it put together for certain things, but that's only a facade because those are the only things that hold my life together. Like it's not because of those that I'm put together. It's that if I don't have those, I'm just nothing. Like I don't
Yeah.
function without it. Like it's
Well, that's
I
why you
need these
have
kind of
routine and,
yes.
yeah.
And
And
I
that's
need to
why,
get out of
like,
here.
exactly, your little basement apartment, no light.
Little Yeah, I mean, yeah, my studio apartment, basement studio apartment with one singular small window that faces the side of the building next door, so I don't get a lot of natural light.
Sounds
Thankfully,
like
the
a
lights
New
in here
York
aren't too.
apartment.
It's great, and also it's just one room, and being the kind of person that I am, that I rely on my environment a lot to kind of structure me.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't get to move from one room to the next, literally, just does not
Yeah.
help.
Well, because I remember you in the condo, you really enjoyed. So you would do your school in your room typically, and then, you would have your meals in the actual kitchen, and then you would like end up usually coming to the living room at night in the
I
condo to
loved that living
like
room
color or whatever. And like I always like had mad respect because you would just chill there alone, and I'd be like, well, I'd be
because it was
downstairs with my boyfriend at
great.
that time, but like I was
Because it
always
was
like,
great.
cool, 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 cool. Like, and then we
I
always like we would by the end we were like tiptoeing around you because we are like, oh, because again, Jerry is an introvert. Like, you like your time alone. So like at one point, like our other roommate, like would just like, oh, Jerry's at lunch, let's not disturb her. And we would like not go in the kitchen because like we knew. And it wasn't a bother, but it made me laugh because
I
we're just like,
appreciated it.
Jerry got her like alone time, eating her
Yeah.
lunch, like
I like my little moments alone because if I don't get those, I get batty and bitchy. Like I just know myself. I
and that's the
just
thing. I think because our condo, at least at the beginning and for a while, like it had a good kind of balance to it. And I think that um we didn't really ever see that side of you as much. Like I don't like
not
maybe
really.
once or twice you were a little like crotchety, but like typically you had a good balance of like when to be alone, and like we learned to like give
Yeah,
you
and
space and stuff. So it was
exactly.
great.
And also, I mean, I wasn't at a period also where, like, surprisingly, because my undergrad was stressful as heck, master's degree wasn't that bad, at least for the first year anyway. Like, it went surprisingly well, so I wasn't nearly as anxious as I thought I would be. So I was doing pretty well overall, which really helped also. But that was the thing, it always made me laugh where I was like, why are y'all always stuck in your rooms? I was like, I'd go insane. But then I was like, it's fine. That means I have the living room to myself. It was great.
Yeah.
It's
You're
great.
like,
I
you know
loved
what?
it.
I'm not gonna argue with you here.
No, I
Like
mean, like you guys could come and it was fine, but like I know that I really enjoyed those alone times and I need those alone times. And pre-COVID era, I was happy whenever I'd come back from class and realize no one else was home, and I'd be like, yes, even if it was just for like half an hour to have an empty house is what
mhm.
I love. That I live differently. And COVID ruined that. Like everybody else is like, I miss going out and seeing people. I miss an empty house. But anyway, enough about me because I've gone on way too long about me. Not to you.
See, and I hate talking about myself. So okay, well, I'm Joy, and what are we doing? Just like personality?
Whatever comes to
um
mind.
I'm pretty like solid. Like yeah, I've been going through a bunch of stuff right now with a breakup, and it's been really hard. So even just emotionally, I'm not where I used to be, but I am slowly regaining that spark. Again, Jerry's been like a huge rock for me right now, and just I think, yeah, I realized that like I just who you are inside. I had lost that, so right now I'm just trying to do things like this podcast and just try to do things that really like bring me joy or challenge me to get out of my comfort zone. Uh,
Bring you joy, joy.
yeah,
Hey, hey.
yeah,
It's not the first
yeah.
time you've heard that joke, obviously.
Oh no, and it won't be the last for sure. Yeah, I like writing. I've started like writing poems every day to deal with the breakup, and the breakup sucks, but I will say, like I told Gerry today, it's done wonders for my creativity and
Yeah, no, for sure.
that angst.
Yes, and I think that's one of the reasons why we also want to do a podcast. We're both very highly creative people, and it's one of the reasons why also I will probably slip into voices or accents or characters and or break into song. I like that might happen. I can't promise that that won't happen
All right.
because,
You've been warned.
you've been warned.
Run away while you still can. Yeah. So stop pushing in on my side, Gerry. Jeez, you
I'm
had your
sorry.
time.
I'm sorry.
So selfish.
I know.
Done. We're done. I'm kidding.
This is the end. Episode
Yeah.
1 done.
Oh, 20 minutes in. Okay, well, that's it, folks. Yeah, I don't know. I do know. I hate when I say that. Yeah, so I like writing. But, man, I feel like I don't have a personality all of a sudden. I
Isn't
really
it?
like laughing. I don't know. I
You're very
really,
funny.
really,
You're
yeah.
highly
Well,
sarcastic. You're the most one of the most sarcastic people. Like to the point where like with you, it was always the um you had to make sure to tell us when you were serious
yeah.
because we were like,
I
"Wait, you're not joking? You're not
because
joking?"
I would get like legitimately annoyed about something, and y'all would be like, "You're so funny," and I'd be like, "No, no, I'm not kidding, guys," and you'd be like,
Cuz
"Oh," and I'm like, "Cause like." No, I'm serious. That's annoying me. And you guys would be like, oh, I
yeah,
remember being annoyed because you guys would assume I was joking.
because you
But
were
then,
90% of the time.
like, at the same time, like when I introduce myself to people, I'm literally like, hi, like my name's Joy. Don't take anything I say seriously. Because
You presented yourself to Emma's parents as a hobo.
oh my gosh. Okay, so backstory, my other roommate, her her and her parents were visiting to like check out the condo, and I was getting ready for a wedding. So I'm wearing like this pink, like it was a bridesmaid's dress for my sister-in-law's wedding that I was in, but I like dressed it down with like that jean jacket and stuff. And anyway, my other roommate was doing my makeup and my hair and stuff, so I'm like dressed up with like this, like, all this stuff on.
Looking all pretty.
Yeah, like I looked good. And then my roommate and her parents walk upstairs and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, so like, who's this? I was like, oh, I'm a homeless person who like, I don't know, they picked up or something. Anyway, they looked
Was
very blankly at me, and
yeah.
I was like, I'm kidding. Like,
Yeah.
I
Wasn't it
definitely
like
live here. Like,
yeah, like wasn't it like sort of and it's like, "Oh, you live here." It's like, "No, I'm a homeless person and they picked up off the street."
yeah, yeah, and they're just like, and I was like, definitely live. So yeah, and I forget again, like, not to be depressing, but like again, after my breakup, I realized that like I have lost so much of that humor, and it's not the relationship per se, although I think that did attribute, sorry, some of that, but it's also COVID. Like, not to be all annoying and like COVID, but like,
Yeah.
we couldn't go out, and like the church that I went to was very like everyone had to be so apart, and people didn't really have, like, they were too afraid to hang out, and I lost like a bunch of social contact, and almost like, because to me, not to get too deep, but like I could just feel myself. Do you ever know how like where you're feeling yourself go layers and layers deep?
No, no,
I'm
no,
like
no.
I'm like, oh no, I'm sinking.
Dude,
But
no, no, no. That's what we mean when we fall down the rabbit hole. Do we want
oh,
to
I'm
go down the
bawling.
rabbit hole?
My
Are we we're
point
there? Are we there? We're there. Okay, folks, we're there.
is, so like in my opinion, like, and this is the way that I am. I like to perform socially. So like if I meet some, like for example, like and her parents, like I love making people shocked or amused or like slightly horrified or like something, and like it gives me life. I like
Oh
being
yeah.
insane, and I couldn't have that. Like, I was stuck with like you guys, and you and Em were gone most of the time, so I was stuck with our other roommate, and like it was just hard. Like, I didn't really see any family. I didn't really have any church stuff. Like we ended up just watching it online at one point.
Oh yeah,
Like
a lot. And no, it was just a mixture of a bunch of different factors where like I think
I worked from home,
yeah,
so
it was just so many different things that like eventually just like so many other people at this point where like I think it brought out the worst or like not necessarily brought out the worst, but it's just been a slow decline, and it's been a
it
slow
hurt us.
decline for well exactly it's been a slow decline and or fast depending on who you are, but for everyone. So it's not like you can be like, okay, I'm going to take a pause to be there for you because like I'm also dealing with exactly the same thing. Like, you know, it's not like
Hmm.
you could have as much as a back and forth and supporting each other while like you know, like we're all burnt out, we're all exhausted, we're all tired, we're all like it's and you know, and we did in the condo like that did create its load of tensions where it's like I can't be there for you the way that you would want me
Hmm.
to be there for you, or you would need someone to be there. And it's like I can't be that person for you, unfortunately. And I think that's what a lot of people that we've had to realize just in who we are and the people that we spend time with and that we appreciate and all that jazz.
100%. It really did affect. And I read an article about how like COVID affected just like the lockdown. And you know what? You can agree or disagree on either sides, but you cannot deny the effects, right? Like that's the
Oh,
thing. I don't
100%.
I don't think that I'm gonna argue like yes or no to it being right. But for me, it's like you have to admit that there were
Side
downsides to
effects.
the lockdowns and all the mandates and everything. And like people are social emotional creatures. Like I have a friend in Florida and I was talking to him about that, how like especially men, like men who, because like women I find we tend to connect almost automatically. Like it just we kind of tend to find people around us mostly. I'm obviously not going to like say every woman,
No,
but
for
most
sure.
women tend to be more like connective with their friends, and they tend to seek out some sort of emotional, because that's like we are tend to
And
be more
yeah.
emotionally inclined. um and men I don't think had as much of a support. And so
Yeah.
even my friend
Well,
from Florida, he's like struggling because
well my
he's
brother
like
as
I
well
only
found it
open
really
up.
difficult.
Yeah, he's
Like
like I only open up to like girls that I'm interested in. And I told him today, I was like, bro, like I get it. Like, you know, you want to be careful who you're opening up to, but like you need a solid base of dudes like to be there for you, because you cannot rely on other people, like especially romantic partners, to be that thing for you only.
oh, for
And
sure.
that was the hard part. Like my ex, like he didn't have anyone. Like even certain guys that I knew didn't have anyone. And obviously there are women who didn't either, depending on like what they were struggling with personally.
Exactly. A lot of
I would.
us were missing a lot of the type of peopling and or it's just because it broke what we were used to doing and the way that we used to socialize or especially for the context of those that are more extroverted or ambiverted and
Right.
even those that were like oh yeah I'm an introvert you know realized hang on a minute I did appreciate like you know going out and seeing people and I mean even me were like I didn't necessarily miss people but I missed the physical aspect of leaving the house like for
I was
me
gonna say the change of scenery.
it's this
You
change of
need
scenery.
a change of scenery.
Exactly. Like
100%. And that's it for me.
it's staying within the same like cabin fever is real, y'all. Like it's the reason why when it was all online and everything and virtual for my classes, like I tried to make a point every day or at most every other day to go for a walk, even just for like airing my head and just being like, I need to be outside. I need to be also moving, just exercise. Just like, get me out of here.
Exactly. And and that's the thing, is if you don't have routines and habits in place, you're like me. You end up just like unmotivated, lazy, sitting at home all day. Like I have an office job. Like I sit at my desk all day on screens, and then like my ex and I would call because he was longer distance. So like you know, then there's more screens, and then you like it's winter, so then we can't really go out anywhere. So then we're watching Netflix or whatever at home, and that's more screens. And then you know what I mean. So you just like the actual motivation to go out is just so little, especially during the winter. So
Oh, for sure. Exactly.
I
So
don't.
no,
I'm in
it's
awe of you, is all I'm saying, because I like. I have to go for a walk tomorrow to the post office to pick up a package, and I'm like, ew, like
No,
it's
but
only like 10-minute walk away.
yeah, but like, and that's the thing where, like I've had to make a point of it because my mental health has really depended on those little things just to keep a sense of normalcy, or just, again, they make me feel
Hmm.
human a bit more. Like, it's a kind of thing where, like, just making your bed, doing the dishes, like we all, like, they're kind of just mundane, or like even chores sometimes, but you don't realize that, like, it's the kind of thing that at least I know for me personally, like, I can't afford to not do them for the sake of my sanity. Because if I go, like, let myself go, I'm not a happy couch potato. Like, I'm not gonna be just kind of whatever, just kind of just chilling, just doing, just kind of like, no, I get really like miserable. Like, it's not just an apathy. Like, I get like there's just this existential dread. Like, again, boredom does me no good. I'm not made to have nothing to do, because then I get into my head and I'm like, what am I doing, where am I going? Because I have no references anymore in terms of time, in terms of space, because I have shoddy like a really shoddy notion of time. Like, I'm like, what is
Right.
time, what is space? Which is why I rely a lot on my environment and on schedules to keep me on track and in line, or else I'm like, what?
My
Because right
brain
now
was
my
just,
life is just a series of Saturdays. Like, life just feels like it just feels like that period between Christmas and New Year's all the time.
but I mean, you're also in between school and work. So like that's the other hard
Yeah,
part. Like for me, it's
that this is your life.
like I'm kind of as far as I'm gonna go. Well, okay, I can't say that because I'm sure eventually I'll like get married and have kids. Hopefully. If there's any single guy, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Let's not. Let's not. Although that might wind up
oh
becoming,
no, I'm kidding.
that might become yeah. Although that might become a concept in this, we'll know. We'll find out, because I need to eventually think of getting myself out there, because I've just not ever
Basically,
invested
we have
a
a segment
spec.
called "Sign Jerry Up for a dating app."
Probably, or
Oh
something or other,
yeah.
because I need to start doing that, because I have, like,
As long as I can pick the pictures for you,
yes,
I'm down
yes,
for this.
that and my description and whatever, and you will
Oh,
get,
you
like,
know what? I'll just take it all. I'm good with words. I'll make you sound sane. No, I'm kidding.
no, don't, because then that wouldn't be real. They wouldn't be getting the real me if you sounded
But you gotta
sane.
lure them in, right? Before you hit them with the. So I'm
Right.
clinically insane. And
I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every second of it.
oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we got derailed from me, but that's okay because that's really all there is about me. Like I'm
Yeah, no. And I think if anything, maybe this will help us to find ourselves and figure out who we are, what we want to do. What is life? What are we? What's going on?
yeah, I agree. Like, as Jerry knows, again, she's been following along with my life very closely lately. But like, I actually had like longer hair until a week ago, and then
Yeah. Yeah, you
post
joined the short
breakup,
hair.
I was like, you know what? You know what? I've wanted to do this for so long, and again, COVID and a mix of just not going outside, I think, and obviously not eating healthily. That's a whole other story. But like, just a whole bunch of things. My hair just was so horrible and thin and just awful. And side note, I like was scrolling on TikTok because yes, I'm addicted to TikTok. Um, oh, and you know what? I'll do a plug for myself here. We're gonna link all our stuff somewhere, and I have a TikTok, and it's all depressing poems and poop.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh,
check it
yeah.
out.
The
But
angst. If
anyway,
you
yeah.
love the angst,
But you know what? What I'm hoping. Okay, I'm tangenting here,
that's
Jerry.
that's that's like
They
redundant,
are.
but yes.
I'm like side tangenting.
Cha cha cha.
These poems are starting off depressing, but like what I'm hoping to do is like show the progress, right? Like as I get over my ex and as I like start to grow and heal and find myself again and just move forward, I'm hoping that they can start to like, you know, be
Mm.
nicer.
Yeah, no, and oh, for sure. And
Like, why don't you love me anymore? So
yeah.
I'm looking
And
forward to it.
yeah, no, for sure. And like, even to just circle back to the reason why we kind of picked the title of, in like
Kaleidoscope.
kaleidoscope,
Yeah.
where it was just the idea where we are going to want to have discussions, and we have like different topics that we want to get into, where we both find that like this world lacks a bit of nuance and perspective at times, and we want to get into that, just multifacets of the world, but also the multifacets of ourselves, because I think we kind of sell ourselves short, or we don't give ourselves enough credit, or just we're we try to box ourselves in, we try to define ourselves with quick and easy, simple labels, and like we're so much more than that. We're very complex and complicated, and that there's nothing wrong with that, and we don't have to be mutually exclusive boxes or descriptions at any moment in time, like and that it'll just change and grow and adapt with who we are, and that we're just gonna see where that potentially leads us down the road.
Yeah. No, we have a bunch of things that we want to talk about and kind of, you know, turn over like, oh geez, turn over like you do those. Is it sand? What is it? Is it like it's like crystal? No, what is
Well,
it in a
in a
crystal?
kaleidoscope, like you can have like you can have a bunch of stuff. Usually, like it's those little like beads, or like
Yeah,
glitter or sequins. I think often
yeah.
like just
Because I'm just thinking
bubbles.
of as you turn it, like that's what we want to do. We want to like
It
take these
shifts the
topics and
image.
just like yeah, just like I mean, not that we're going to say anything really new or like, you
Who
know,
knows?
well, typically most things have been talked about, but I think it would be cool to have kind of a discussion and go deeper because that's really what you and I really our
I
freaking
mean,
4 hour Zoom calls every time. Like, yeah,
yeah,
we go
and
deep. We go
I
deep.
mean, to be fair, I have an undergrad in psychology, and also just a huge
Now here's
interest
your
in terms
plug,
of that.
Gerry.
Well, yeah, no, it's true, but yeah, like I mean, I love psychology. I love mental health. I'm a huge mental health like advocate, and just but also like psychology, almost philosophy. Like I can't tell where the line blurs at some
Let's
point, but
say
I'm
it's
like
all connected.
you're gonna find out I'm very very big brained, very very galaxy brain. I'm very very
You got
deep and
that big
introspect.
brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just very deep and introspective. And I don't say that as a sort of vanity thing. It's more just no. I like I don't have to tell people I'm deep. I get 5 sentences in and they can already tell
So,
because I'm just
men, if anyone's looking for a smart one, it would be Jerry. If anyone's looking for a funny one who
that would be
cooks
Joy.
really well, that would
Oh
be
my
me.
gosh, your food is the best. No, but as a side, like as a sidebar, like
Thank
your
you. Thank
food,
you.
I miss your nachos.
You know what we should
I
do? I
miss
should
your
like have like recipes
nachos.
included
Yes. Oh my
occasionally and
goodness.
just be like,
Because
y'all.
Joy is secretly an old Southern black woman, like black grandmother. Like honestly, we even had a friend at some point
Oh
where one of our roommates, she had a classmate to
yeah.
come over, and he's black, and just by the description, he thought that she was also. And then when he saw her, he's like, "No, that's not Joy. You're kidding." And no, and that was the
He
funniest
thought,
moment
yeah, he
ever.
thought when he heard about me cooking and just the way I talked and stuff,
Just your vibe.
he couldn't. And it was funny. Do you remember what happened? Because they were outside because it
Yeah,
was
we met
COVID.
outside.
And then we were going for a walk, you and I. And then,
Mhm.
like, we had walked away from them. And she calls me back and she was like, I have to tell you, he thought you were like, by your description, the way I talked about you, he thought you were black. He was like, I thought you were a sister. And I was like,
Yeah,
I am as
no.
white as they. I am white on rice, like
Yeah,
burn in
and
20 minutes, kind of like gal. Like,
you're ginger, dude. You're
oh,
basically
I'm
ginger.
ginger. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, no.
but you know what? That's actually what I. Okay, well, yes and no, because I was gonna say that's the kind of personality that I want to get back to. Like, I want to get back to that Joy that was sassy and like just salty, even like like
Oh,
that,
out of this world.
like, and I think that
You're larger than life personality.
yeah, and but at the same time, like when you go through things, that also grows you. So I know that I won't, not to get like a sad again, but like I know that I won't ever be the same Joy that I was like back then, and that's okay. But like I'm hoping also personally that in this podcast that I can kind of let loose my more zany, weird, uncomfortable side of me, and creep some people out. Hopefully,
That's
that's
the
really
whole
what I'm here
point.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that'll be fun. And I mean, I'm just trying to not entirely be just, the non-entity as I've been wont to be. in
The
the past.
wallflower. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
The
The
fact that
try
Gerry's doing this actually is
It's huge because
huge.
I don't like taking up space ever at all. I try to avoid making ripples. I hate stepping on people's toes. I don't like yeah. I no. No, it terrifies me to no
Yeah,
end.
yeah, no. That's literally that's the explanation for you right there.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
no. But it's time that you started taking up space, and
yeah.
you're incredibly intelligent and pretty. I mean, if I was a guy, just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But
like this hair looks better in person. And especially since I haven't done anything with it right now, particularly.
so lazy, honestly. Like,
That's why I
I
went with
don't want
short hair.
I don't
That's
want
why
to
I went with
boast.
this.
I don't want to boast, but like I showered today, so
I need to go shower.
and
Oh,
and and moisturized. Like this girl
I'm so
is living
proud
her
of
best
you.
life.
I'm
I
so
know.
proud of you. So
Oh,
proud of you.
and no one's going to care about this, but I actually made dinner tonight instead of ordering in. And
Good
hold on, I
job.
made chicken Alfredo with whole wheat pasta. Okay, so I'm like pretty pumped. But I also made focaccia dough. So now it's going to be in
You
the
did
fridge for like 48
not.
hours. I did. So in 2 days, I'm going to be like, yo,
Girl.
holla. So, and I'm going to make a stew with the bread. So I'm pretty much like good now. My heart's not broken anymore. And, it's good. It's good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm just saying this because I'm proud because
You should
the
be. And
amount
this
of
is
money that I've spent on takeout, and I don't feel bad because, I'm getting my life back together, but like the amount of money that I spent on takeout is
oh,
horrible.
let's
Like
be
the Uber
honest.
drivers
This
are like, oh, this chick again? Holy cow.
yeah.
I'm just
It's like
sitting here on my
you
fat ass being like, give me that taco bill. Ugh!
yeah,
So,
it's like you okay there, fam? And it's like,
yeah,
no, give me my tacos.
obviously going through something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's but good for you. And like that's the thing, just here it's to celebrate the victories, the
The
big, the
small,
small,
the
especially the small,
small.
especially the small.
Yeah.
Like honestly, we don't take enough time to celebrate the wins. Whatever they might be to you, because one thing that might seem super simple and obvious to you is very difficult and complicated to somebody else. And we all need a
Mm-hmm.
hype team. We all deserve a hype team. Like, as much as, yes, this will be to push ourselves, but at the same time, like, you can't push yourself if you don't already minimally believe in yourself, Like, you gotta start
Okay, there,
somewhere.
Disney. Believe in yourself. No, I'm kidding. It's true though, and I think that like again, scrolling through TikTok with its algorithm, I'm on breakup talk, which is
Fun times.
it's
Which is
good
the
and bad because it's like encouraging because they're like,
well,
but
it's
then like
relatable.
yeah, but then the other side of it is like it's it's depressing because you have all these girls like. You said you'd never leave. Like, and um, sorry, I'm just cracking for myself.
And this
But
is why I don't have TikTok, because I would never leave. I'm not made to have something
uh,
that scrolls endlessly. There's a reason why I also follow a limited amount of number of anything on any platform that I'm on,
I already
just so
forgot
that
my
I can
point.
reach. Yeah, I don't know where you. Well, I don't.
I
Was
don't
there
even
a
remember.
point? Was there
There
a
was
point?
because I was saying there was like an inundation of like breakup talk and the algorithm.
I don't know.
Darn, darn, that sucks. Well,
Well,
well, this is well. That's actually not going to be the last time it's going to happen. So just
no.
I broke the
We're,
ice. I lost the train
we
of
we
thought.
we've set the standard of expectation of what you can hope to find here, and that
Very
again,
low. I hope
yeah, yeah,
so. We can really only go up from here. I mean,
hopefully, maybe, who
or did we
knows?
already peak?
Oh gosh, is this it? Is this it?
It's gonna bother me now. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's really gonna like I don't forget things.
That's my job. That's my job. It's my job to be in the middle of a train of thought and be like, I don't remember where I was going with this. That's my
Yeah.
job, dude.
Darn.
It's my line.
That's annoying me. Okay, anyway. Well, I guess that's all we can really say right now. Like, we hope to bring some weird and fun
Yeah,
topics, and just, I mean, sometimes it won't be fun. Sometimes the topics I think will be a little bit more serious, and
for sure.
you know, Jerry and I tend to go pretty deep on stuff, and we get
Mhm.
very,
And
very invested.
very
So it won't
much
always
so.
be like this crazy, but we'll try and
No,
keep it like silly. My desire to perform will
it will take
definitely
over.
make it. Yeah, I'll be like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's the thing. And it's just trying to have discussions, but just be very kind of open and very willing to kind of just view subjects as a whole and to try to view things like not to remove the emotion because you can't ever and emotions are very healthy, very important. But
no, no, I don't think. No,
yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
they. I don't think
But
they're.
like I think just sometimes we kind of get lost in the emotion of the moment where you can see just with so many things that people say online or in anything like there's so many things where as much as the like what they're saying they're not wrong, but you're like, this comes from a very emotionally charged place and therefore lacks a little bit of tact or maybe, again, nuance or subtlety where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're not wrong. But I think it's kind of just combing through different things and being able to have, yeah, just a civil, intelligent, constructive discussion without trying either to compete or to perform or to necessarily like convince the other person, you know, and just being able to like say things as they are because that's one thing I know that for me with just the way that I am and my brain works where like I can't deal with bullshit. I can't deal with bullshit or drama.
Whoa.
and and
I'm
yes,
telling your
yes,
mom you said the S word twice. Look at
I
that.
know, I
I'm
know.
whistleblowing on you hard, Jerry. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ruin you.
Don't tell mama.
You thought you were an adult? How could you? But
Yeah,
yes,
no.
yeah.
I,
Like,
I I know that I secretly look like I'm probably like 17 or 12. I don't know. It's unclear. Every person I ask
you're
says
gonna
something
age
different.
well. I mean, really. I wouldn't complain.
I look
I
16.
look
I
like a
sound
mom
like
who's pushed out 4 children. So, and
oh
I haven't
gosh.
even had any, just to clarify,
Yeah.
folks.
No.
But
But like yeah, no, I look 16 but I sound like I'm 80. So like I don't know. I don't know. The amount of times where like I sound like I'm ready for retirement.
you
Or
knit, you
I
crochet,
crochet. I want to stay
like
home. I just want to do my little things.
you
I
go for
just
your
want to
little walks. You hang out with your like senior neighbor.
I love
You guys
her.
watch shows. So I
We
mean,
do.
you're really
I'm
there. I
I'm
mean,
already basically there. I just don't have the funds that go from having worked your entire life.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
only thing that I'm missing.
You're too in debt to retire. Like you'd have to like rob a bank. Rob a bank. I think that would
Don't.
get my spark back. My question is, do you want to be Bonnie or do you want to be Clyde?
Hmm.
Choose wisely.
Yeah.
I'm
All
just gonna
right.
say it. I think you're a Bonnie. I think I'm a Clyde.
I
But
don't
I
know
mean,
what
you
that says
can.
about me.
I just think I'm more of the, like crazy. I don't. Maybe, but
Sorta.
yeah, a
Just
little
a
bit.
little.
It's gonna get worse. I really am a clown, so it's gonna get worse. I'm just preparing
No,
you,
and
as
we're
well
just
as
gonna
anyone who watches this or
yeah,
listens. It's
we'll
gonna
be
get
able to
worse.
show our own side of personality and humors where you're just sarcastic and wildly out there, while I am more the wit and deadpan and
The
physical
smart,
and
the
yeah,
smart one. Yeah,
I'm the smart
yeah.
one, but I'm also just the physical comedy because I have a face that reveals all. Like I can't lie. I'm a terrible liar. I'm not very good at that, and also my face just
Jerry,
betrays
do you
me
like
all the
me?
time.
So yes, but you don't want to. That is what.
It's like
That is what I
yeah.
read in that face. It was like, yeah, but like,
Exactly. No, I like being able to say more just through I feel like there's a lost art to physical comedy that I'd like to bring back, you know, like sometimes you just don't need to speak. You can just do it through expressions, vague gestures, and different, just
I
non-committal noises.
Yeah, I remember your shrugs. Your shrugs. You're weird. Yeah. Yeah. We did a lot of strange things in the condo. So
Yeah,
we had a lot of weird moments.
to say the least.
I'm sorry. I'm just remembering when Em fell down the stairs. We can't tell you the story, I'm sorry, because it's not our story to tell, but
It's not, but oh. I,
um yeah, no, I have not. I have not. And then we used to make fun of, so I was uploading like videos to my drive just because I was trying to clear up my phone. And I found a video of Emma imitating your squat in front of your friend.
yes, the
Oh,
squat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, my. Yeah, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, it was mockery out of love.
Oh, oh, imitation is the highest form of flattery. Let's be honest.
I remember
No,
she like squatted and then got up and she had the Crocs on too, and then she like
yes.
stomped her way over to the couch and like plopped down.
No, no, it was the headphones. I think she'd done the thing with the headphones too, because I
Yeah.
was known for my Crocs and my headphones. And that whenever you wanted to talk to me, it was like Jerry, and it'd be like, pause. What? It was always pause. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It was like specific every time, and it was like 5 seconds. You would just be like, yeah, good times.
Oh, them's
Actually,
were the
I
days.
miss the condo sometimes. Like I'm glad that I like. Well, after everything I've been going through, it's hard not to miss it more because like it feels like a very safe place for me. But at the same time, like I can't regret moving here, and I can't regret like making all my choices because that's how you grow and that's how you move forward. Um, like who
And
knows where
when
I'll
you
be in the next year, but like
no,
I love that I
and
can treasure it. Sorry,
exactly,
go.
and and you being Joy, when you get something in your head, you're gonna do it. Like again, you are a force of nature. You don't stop Joy. I've learned that a long time ago. Like I can try to say my
You
piece,
cannot
but
stop joy. No, I'm kidding.
no, no, no. While
Yeah.
I tend to be very easily convinced. I'm much
Well,
more.
the thing is like I don't tend to do like rash things a lot. That's the
No.
other thing. Like while I am stubborn, I'm in full agreement. I am very stubborn and like like I'm a Taurus. Not that I believe in it, but I am a Taurus. Um, but at the same time, like it isn't often that I'm like really ridiculously stubborn. Like moving for my ex and everything, like I still believe that was the right choice. I think I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that like um I think that like I was meant to come here and I was meant to like go through everything and struggle and like I don't know, I'm not the kind of person like I don't know, I just feel like God has always laid my path in front of me and like while this decision freaked out a lot of people at the same time, like I think I needed it in some ways. It was a good slap in
Oh,
the
for
face and a
sure.
very good realization to be like you're losing who you are and also your priorities are terrible. So this is the joy you were seeing in this first episode is a very humbled um well sad but humbled, I think, in a positive way. I've learned lessons and I've had to prioritize things and I think that's a good thing. So I
Yeah,
don't
and I think that's why I think for me, just having been there for you for various different things over time, I think that was the thing where for me, I was like, I'm not going to be the one to stop you from doing these things. I will be here to support you. I like, and again, it was nothing entirely like I was like, that's insane, and like there was nothing like dangerous, like life threatening, or
like I
I'm like,
wasn't doing
that's
drugs or
no,
something
exactly.
like
Like it was the kind of thing where I was like, is this the best decision? Probably not. But at the same time, I was like, there's nothing that I can say that's a good enough reason to not do it. Um
it was a
that
risk.
like exactly like there was nothing that I could say that would ultimately convince you otherwise. And that wasn't the point, and that wasn't my place, and it's not my job. Like, and again, like that's the kind of thing where I was like, who's to say? I don't know the outcome. Um and yeah, no. I was ready to be committed to be there for you, like whichever way it panned out.
It
And I
turned
like
out
yeah, like I was like, and yeah, from the beginning, I was like, I don't know where this goes because it really felt like it could go either way. Like it never felt clear in my mind where I was like, oh, it's definitely going to be this or it's definitely going to be
Mm-hmm.
that. And that's what I try to have as a mindset as much as possible is to not have anything that's too categorical and to be like, a
Well,
never and
you don't
always. And because I
you
find that
you
that's
don't want to put
just
it in the box, essentially,
no,
right?
exactly. Because that's the thing is I feel like we're very short sighted for certain things or yeah, we're just yeah, where I was like, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know anything. And like
No,
it's the
there's
kind
just
of things
hopes.
where yeah, and it's like I've been right on certain things before in like my we'll call them predictions and or intuitions, but I've also been wrong plenty of
I've
times.
been right, but I've also been right.
I'm right
Yeah.
and I'm right. No, I've been wrong also
You
on
heard it
different
here, folks.
occasions.
Jerry is never wrong. She's always right and right.
I'm right and right all the right ways.
Well, that's why I
Um,
think that, like, I think that's why, like again, I was talking with my friend from Florida today, and he was like, I was talking to him about how my relationship messed up my relationship with God, and he's like, "Well, isn't your God like, um, he forgives mistakes? Isn't that what it's all about?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like, if you're if you're knowingly making mistakes over and over again, like." The decisions that I made. There are some decisions I made that I knew what I was doing wasn't okay, and I still did them anyways because I was being selfish and sinful. So like I was like, well, it's understandable in some ways that you can make mistakes. At the same time, like there comes a line where it's like you have to take the consequences. And I
mhm,
think that like for me, the consequences would be not just the breakup, but the ensuing like result of consciousness because of the breakup. You know what I mean? And like that sounds really
mhm.
cryptic. I'm not trying to be, but like you know what I mean? You do
No,
things in a relationship
no.
that have consequences if you break up. They would have had consequences if we didn't break up, but like they obviously have more painful, immediate consequences because we broke up. And I don't think, you know, I'm in a stable enough frame of mind right now that I could be like, it probably wasn't the worst thing. And it like I think it's helped me do this podcast. It's helped me write
Yeah.
more. It's helped me. I mean, people hate TikTok, but like I actually am quite fond of it, and it helps me be more creative without feeling like okay, for someone who's like really performative and like really stupid and crazy, I actually don't like when people's eyes are on the real me. And I don't like being vulnerable, which a lot of people don't like. That's fair. But like TikTok kind of like I feel like I have some like anonymity. Like I don't feel like they don't have my full name. They don't know how to
Exactly.
find me. Like I'm just a person posting poems that are about breakups.
And
Like
exactly,
and it's
like, that's why it's
wonderful.
great for that, like and that's why I appreciate just like, that's why I love Tumblr so much, because it is just a void of just the wildest and wackiest and craziest stuff all the time, and I'm like, this
Hmm.
place is simultaneously the best and the worst, and that's what I appreciate about it, because, like, it's not trying to be anything it isn't, versus, like, I don't resonate with Instagram, I just at least with not with who I am right now, I really, really don't.
I
It does
don't
not
think
work.
I don't think you will ever resonate with Instagram. Instagram
Not with the
is
vibe it
either
has.
I think based off of your personality and the way you think. Like for me, Instagram is like two or three different people. It's like Christian hipster moms who are, like the super holistic, like plant mom,
Yes.
like crazy, with their own side businesses, and they're all like wearing those like big hats and like the white jumpers that are somehow always clean, and they're like they married like someone of a different race, so they have cute mixed babies, like the typical super like
Oh, yeah.
clean Christian woman. Then there's like the celebrity, like the like just like the weird like
The influencers of all types,
influencers
really.
is perfect, exactly. So it could be like celebrities or like TikTok stars, like all that kind of stuff. And then there's like the weird like almost like pornographic side of Twitter. I'm sorry, Instagram. I mean, Twitter has its own dark hole, but like Instagram,
Twitter is
it's
another
it's so
story.
it's so interesting to me that like you have such a different broad spectrum. And I think TikTok's the same in some ways for sure.
Oh,
Like
for
every
sure.
platform has its like dark side. Although Facebook is like kind of for older people at this point, in my opinion. But
Yeah, we don't talk about Facebook.
I like literally I could leave. Like I it's not because it's like for old people. I just again, I've had an Instagram because of my ex. Um I just, when you like are dating someone, you want to be like on the things they're on and you want to be doing the things they do. So I had it because of him. And then like TikTok is just, it sucks you in.
Yeah, which is why I decided to not do that to myself because I knew I would never emerge. Even like just with like Facebook that they put like reels and like short videos, I got sucked into it like a few times by accident because they were there and I just clicked on them and then because it's the same thing where you just scroll and they keep playing and then I was like this is why I don't have TikTok and I have to whenever I see them because they pop up every so often. I have to be like remove, hide this, less of
Mm.
these because
Well,
I'm
because
like
they're actually the person who created Instagram created the way the algorithm is. He created it to be like a roulette, like to be like he admitted it's basically like the high that you get when you go gambling.
mm,
So like those slot machines, like
yeah,
the
yeah,
way
yeah.
that you pull it and it like refreshes. He designed the algorithm to be I'm pretty sure I remember reading an article or something about it and he designed it to be addictive. And it's the same with like TikTok, it's the same with the reels. Like
Yeah.
because it's continual and you just keep going, it's like you're gambling in a slot machine and it's just this like
Oh, it's automatic. Well,
it's so
it's the
interesting.
scrolling. It's the scrolling syndrome where you're just ongoing and ongoing and again like I need something that at one point the feed ends and I'm like okay I've reached where I was before. I'm going back to
um
real life.
that is the good thing about Instagram is that you do reach the end of your like feed.
Yeah, depending on how many people you follow.
Well, depending on how many people follow you, and depending on if you get pulled into reels, because that is a
Yeah, or like
which
your
I
for
hate
you
reels.
page or
I really
whatever.
do. And that's the thing. I probably will never go back on Instagram unless we create that like ironic one. But like I just
Yeah, no, that's a side project. All depending what becomes of this, because that's what I said. I want to like kind of emulate just Bo Burnham's white woman Instagram, that vibe of just deeply sarcastic and ironic and just yeah, I just I can't take myself seriously in the ways that like you need to for Instagram or like I don't know, like it just there's this vibe about it. There's just something about it that just does
it's
not
cringe.
stick to
You know
me.
what you can do? You can be the Celeste Barber of Instagram. Do you know Celeste Barber? She like imitates like celebrity photos, but like in a really like
Oh, yeah, like
yeah,
parody.
yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's kind of what I would be because yeah, like I don't know that I could do it in any other way than just purely either ironic or just doing it in a extremely candid way where like I would take the first photo that I would put the first photo that I took of whatever shot unfiltered, like even if it's grainy or like my eyes are half shut or whatever, like just
Yeah.
yeah, basically like it's the kind of thing where I'm like there's just something about it that just doesn't
So
feel
you'd
real.
post selfies, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
Like for me, I would do Instagram maybe like if I lived in a like where I live is not very mm, there's some beautiful spots, but it's not as like
Scenic?
wooded, scenic. Yeah, like when I was when when I visited my parents in Europe there and we walked down the
That was so
oh, that was it was
nice.
so cold,
It
but
was
like
it
uh
was. Oh gosh, it
yeah,
was
I was
so
wearing the wrong pants for that day. But when we walked down that place, I don't even know what it's called. It's like got a weird
it was
anyway,
great
I'm
though. It was
diving, but basically
beautiful.
the view, like the sun coming through the trees, like that would be more my Instagram. Do you remember when we went apple picking with the young adults and like there was that path where the tractor would go on the side? I
Yes.
took so many photos of that because it was the most gorgeous, like mud, and it was damp and like quiet and wooded and green, and that is like my heaven. So if there's any farmers, oh, no, I'm kidding. I got really gotta I gotta stop. I gotta stop. But no, that to me, I'd love to live somewhere where it's like I'm not against the city, but I just would like to have somewhere nearby,
Oh, I have
perhaps.
something against the city. I just find it way too overstimulating and sensory overload and too many people, and like I need greenery, or I need like a waterfront, or I need like somewhere like I need trees, I need green
Yeah.
spaces, I need places where you can kind of forget that you're in the middle of a city or whatever. Just at least, like, I mean, not that it has to, but I've always preferred being those kinds of places. And like during like my last internship, like I was right next by the water, and there was like the marina and walking, and it was beautiful, it was gorgeous, it was amazing. And just being able to walk, and there was like the pier with like a little lighthouse towards the end of it. And that was like the first time in the longest time where I'd go for walks, and then I'd go to the end of the pier, and I'd just sit. I'd sit with my feet hanging
I
off of
love
the edge of the
water.
pier, and I was just sitting there just looking at the water. And like to be able to just sit there for like 5-10 minutes maybe, and just being there looking at the water. I didn't have any
Yeah.
music on. I just existing. Like I need places and spaces where I can just exist, because I feel like otherwise our life is just filled with
100%.
so many other things that it's just. And like, and I even see it nowadays, like I feel like in every moment it's almost as if I'm trying to bombard myself with stimulation. I'm like, oh, I should be listening, and it's like you don't have to have a million things going on at once. And it's like, then I'm like, why am I so tired and drained? Maybe because you're constantly trying to have
You're
focus
filling the
on two.
silence. You're feeling,
Yeah,
and there's actually someone, was it? It might have been a TikTok, to be honest, but it was like someone talking. Yeah, I know. You can laugh at me. I'm probably going to say that a lot, guys, so just be prepared.
I'm gonna
Um,
probably say, oh yeah, I saw it on Tumblr. Like, let's be
yeah, so
honest.
we were both, addicted in some ways. But I saw this
Totally.
person or whatever video, and they were like, we can't be bored anymore, and we don't leave space to be bored. And like, I'm very much guilty of that. Like, I'll get up every morning, go like check my phone first thing, and then I'll go do like work and stuff after getting breakfast. I finish work, and then I go, get dinner, and then I'll sit and watch a show, or I'll like call people, which is good. Like, I will say, like, I'm very social in that way. Like, it's what's kept me going during the breakup. It's like I have a big family and lots of friends, and Gerry. So yeah, Gerry, you're like singled out on your own because like
I'm my own little unit. Like,
well, like, and here, I'll take a minute to appreciate Gerry, because as you yeah, that's right. um I had to apologize to her because like I was a terrible friend. I wasn't there like when I was in a relationship. I really got selfish, but through it all, like, Gerry would talk to me whenever I had issues with my boyfriend, and would just be really logical and a safe place. And it dates back to when we were in the condo, and like basically my ex and I have like a really roller coaster past, and I've been through a lot of crap with him. This is just this breakup's just the start of the tip of the iceberg. But
yeah,
actually, when Gerry moved in, I was going through something at the 2019. When you moved in, I was like non-communicative for a week because I was in like so much, I was so sad. But basically, like, from the beginning, Gerry's like very much been there. Um, I'm the kind of person, well, because of circumstances, I was up late at night, and so was Gerry. So we would talk at like 1, 2 a.m.
night
sometimes.
owls,
Um,
not
can I
morning
tell them
people
about
at
can I
all.
tell them about your nickname, actually?
Yes, yes.
So, because Gerry's got very like beautiful pixie-ish, elfish features, and
I'm
then
quite small. I've got,
yeah,
and again, it fits into the sort of non-entity not taking up space. I mean figuratively, but also kind of literally. Like I've never been a very.
you're petite.
I'm quite petite. I've got a quite small frame. I'm quite thin. At least I'm not as scrawny as I used to be. But
Yeah,
like yeah,
you got curves, but yeah, you're small. And then
overall,
because we were up so late, I think we said that it was almost like you were like a gremlin. So then we took the word elf and gremlin and
yeah.
we mashed it together. And so for the longest time, and still now occasionally, now that I'm actually not being a dick and I'm talking to her more, like I call her my Grolf. And
Your little Grelf.
yeah. And so like Gerry's been there literally since the beginning, just like chatting, being weird, talking about crazy things. And like I'm open about like as we're talking for over an hour. Like, we're pretty open about things in our life and stuff, but there's a different sense of vulnerability that you need with people that you trust and really connect to. There are certain things that you talk to them about, and certain like hurts and pains that you can't talk about to anyone because some people
Yeah.
just don't understand. And we'll talk about that more in other podcasts. I think we're like, at least I hope so. Like,
Most
especially
likely.
especially now that I'm single, I'm sure I'll work in some sort of like grief and loss pep talk
Yeah.
there. That's just I can feel it coming.
Oh
So
yeah,
you
it'll be
know,
there. And
through it
that's
all,
fine.
Gerry has been there. So yeah, that's my appreciative post. Um, Especially because Gerry is ADHD. So like the fact that we've connected and stayed connected and really like followed up and like have maintained a solid friendship, like I'm very proud of the both
Yeah,
of
no,
us.
and literally, and like, and that's the thing where, like, I mean, I do appreciate the compliments and the appreciation, like, I do, and like, and I think, it goes, but it goes both ways. Where like, I need those types of interactions and relationships. I need different things to help me get out of myself because I'm always stuck in my head. And it's the kind of thing where
Mm.
like I tend to have these just a lot of different thoughts and a lot of depth, but like it's all in here. And to be able to just kind of bring it out and to kind of learn that like again, I'm good at this kind of thing where like I've learned it through you and different people, a lot online because it is the world. But
Yeah.
like, I realize that this is something that I'm good at and that I enjoy doing. I enjoy getting to be there for people in this way because it's my preferred method of interacting and socializing, which isn't the common way. Like, I mean, like it's sure I can do other forms of socializing, but I think it's my preferred way of connecting with people. I
It's more
find that like
meaningful.
exactly, and like, and especially for me, and again, just between the ADHD, and especially the RSD, like it's one of those ways where I just for me it's been very very healing and growing and just being like okay I can connect to people and I can be there for people and it taught me a lot about myself in the meantime as well and just what it means to be there for people because I enjoy being there for people and as funny as it sounds it's nice because again I need moments to not make it all about me um because
Yeah,
again
definitely done plenty of those.
like no but I like and no but it's funny but I need those because again I'm very much stuck in my head all the time I again galaxy brain but on the inside like I'm the inverted like universe where it's bigger on the inside where it's just
Your
it's a
TARDIS?
yeah basically like there's
Cool.
just a lot in here and just to be able to focus on something outside of me it's just very very nice it's very very freeing and I feel that like I've learned that I process things better by doing it that way anyway by bringing it outside of myself and because again like I just have an extremely highly associative brain where like I can talk to people like just see what issues they're going with and because again I will find associations and links with anything at all times I will usually find ways that it relates to me even if only very very like dimly that like I won't necessarily always share because often it's like it's not relevant to the other person so I'm like it's not and it's
Mhm.
not my turn to share but like at least it helps me sometimes because then every so often I'll glean something and I'll be like oh wait a minute this is pertinent to me as well and like afterwards when I get to just think with myself I get to think through issues in a new way or in a new light and I get to have I feel like I just get that much more like epiphanies by having talked with someone else and I was like hang on a minute wait a
Mhm.
second like I think that's the thing where and like in almost like therapist-esque like um interactions or like almost interventions where I think it's just because again you're never like a completely blank slate when you're talking to someone even if, when you are
Right.
there and like and I enjoy being a sounding board just to be able to let the other person just talk it out but like I do bring a part of myself like that's inevitable like there is still the me that's there listening and therefore and when it's relevant bringing parts of either like my shared experience or like other things that come to mind of either things that I know or people that other people that I know have gone through similar
Mhm.
things but like again it helps me to realize that like yeah just it brings certain things about myself more closely to the surface that I hadn't necessarily always realized and that like sometimes will help me and I like and it's funny because then I feel like the Lord works in mysterious ways and like it often feels like you talk about something with someone and it ends up weirdly relating to something that you're going through and you're like oh that's the
Mhm.
breakthrough I was looking
Yeah.
for it's happened so many times and I feel like I and yeah just yeah like for me it's the types of interactions and the types of relationships where like I gain so much from them and for me like they're thrilling like I feel like for me like I'm very very wired in those moments and I'm at like peak performance and like I'm just very like whoo let's do this. Whereas, like, generally speaking, a lot of people, like, they're like, oh, emotions, it's very heavy, it's very deep, it's very dark. And like, I feel like over time, it's really also helped me just process my own emotions. And because in those moments, you kind of don't have a choice but to be able to step back, because you can't take it personally, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
personal in that moment. It's not about you, it's about the other person. And anything that they spew out isn't about you. Like, it's not a direct attack. So to be able to just experience other people's emotions in front of me, but to know that, like, again, they can be upset and it not have to affect me, because like I can learn to just distance myself cognitively, and to have that exercise over and over again has been very, very good in my learning to regulate my emotions in a much more healthy
Right.
and constructive way. Like and it's also been very good because, especially moving forward in um the sphere of work that I'm going to be doing, I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to distance myself from that, because I mean, I'm going to be working with people that have gone through different issues, and that, again, I can't, at the end of the day, I need to be able to remove myself and be like, okay, my day of work is done.
Like not take it home.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't take it
Yeah.
home. Exactly. And like, it's an area of work where that's something that you can fall prey to or fall victim to very, very
Mm-hmm.
easily. And again, just, and it's very hard, it's not easy, but like, I feel like I'm glad that I'm learning this now and not like 10, 15 years later, you know. um and just kind of the emotional and like caretaker burnout, where like, because it's a kind of thing where you have to be able to come to a certain amount of peace with certain things, where it's like, you know, it still sucks, it absolutely does suck, but I, at least for me, I can't let that let me down, because there's nothing I can do. But like, if it's somebody else's
No.
problem, um it's there's nothing I can do
You
necessarily,
can
like, it's,
you can empathize, but you
oh, I
like
can't
for
make it
example,
mine. There's no
like
sense in making it mine. Like,
to
there's no sense in
to
my
discuss,
being,
like to bring up the example of like my breakup, like you have been there and been able to be like, yeah, I know that sucks, like, saying like comforting things, and really just being empathetic and saying like, I can imagine like how you feel in this situation, because I've talked a lot about like everything, as Gerry knows, like I'm a rehasher, and like she knows. And again, thankful for her because she's not like, you talked about this last week, but like
I repeat myself all the time anyway, though, so like,
exactly.
I it doesn't
So
matter. But like, that's the thing where
but
like,
like
I,
you're not like, oh, I'm depressed with you. You're like, it sucks.
no, because it's not my, it's not my
You keep
story. It's,
talking, and then like I can feel safe to like spew all of these emotions, but you're not like taking them to heart. And it's actually nice because I feel like you're more impartial and you're not as like, actually I say this to Gerry a lot. I'm trying to like not sound unappreciative because I am. But like I will often
no,
be
but, and I
like,
don't
like
mind.
a lot of people I find, and this will be maybe something I do want to talk about, is like how people um push you because they want you to be better. And I think that like that's something that I felt a lot in from family and friends, where they're just like, well, like chin up, you'll be okay. There's someone else out there for you, kind of thing. And it's like, but I'm in the pain and the loss now.
Yeah,
And that's the thing,
exactly.
is that like with Gerry, I found someone who could be like, okay, it sucks right now. Like let's
And to
talk
not,
about it.
yeah,
And
and
that's
not be
important.
surprised, like, and I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that you feel sucky. And that's the thing, and that's where like, it's hard, and it's like, I constantly have to mind myself, like, it's a continual practice to be able to just distance yourself and be like, this is really sad, it's sad, however, it's not
My life is so sad.
it's like, it's not my cross to bear, basically. Like, that's what it is, where it's like, and
No.
like, and there's no sense in my, like, wrecking myself emotionally, being like, oh my gosh, Joy's so sad, like, what is that gonna do? Like, that nobody goes anywhere with that, because a, it's again, it's not about me, it's not my problem, it's not my life, you're the one going through it. I can just be there in the moments that I can be there for you.
And that
Offer,
person would get, and that
you know,
person would actually like get sad. Like for me, if you were like affected by it negatively, I would be like, and I wouldn't want to talk to you anymore because I would
exactly.
be
And
like, I'm not a horrible, selfish person like that badly. I
no,
wouldn't be like, oh, I need comfort, but it's ruining your life, but I need it anyway. Like,
yeah, well,
so it's
exactly,
good. That's what you
yeah.
like. And that's what it means to be strong when someone is weak, is to be like, yeah, like this sucks, but like, we're good. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like we're
Yeah,
I'm good. Keep talking. We'll get through this kind of thing. Like, and that's great.
Exactly. And
So
like that's the thing. But
also,
I try to just be there and just in the little things, in the simple things, and just listening, because that's the thing where I can try to go on spiels or whatever, and but a lot of times it's just listening, because I'm just there to be there, because it's just nice to have a person outside of you, like
yep.
that they teach you about empathic listening because it's important. And I will go
Mm-hmm.
on about that at a
Mm-hmm.
later date, because it's something I find extremely important. But we are already like an hour and 20
I
minutes
was gonna
into this
say,
thing. I was going to say, I get the feeling that's what
I'm
you're in.
so sorry, everyone. I was gonna be like, Gerry, we've tangented on the tangent, on the tangent, on the tangent. We started as telling about ourselves, and now I'm talking about my breakup and support, and I feel like this is
This
really
is
boring
this
now.
no, but this is very par for the course for us. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what did we expect? So,
I'm not surprised. I'm just like,
no, this is
oh, I hope we didn't lose
exactly
people. Like, sorry, guys.
what people. There are people. Hello, people. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. We're so sorry.
But needless to say, like, Gerry and I do like to talk about like the emotional side of things. I think that's important. Like, I'm not going to be struggling with this breakup forever. You know, at some point in a few months, I'm going to be, well, hopefully, I will be somewhat better and healing, and I'll be in a different place mentally, you know? And so, but right now, all I see is the breakup and my pain. So, well, not all I see. I'm progressing to the point where I'm obviously able to do a podcast and have a good time. Like, I'm not faking it. But yeah, no, it's what I'm trying to say is that like this is kind of how we do it. Like, we joke around, we do talk about things, and you know, pry it apart and discuss it seriously in some ways, but in other ways, like, yeah, we do also want to be honest about our struggles and like where we're at, and like Gerry said at the beginning, chronic oversharers.
Oh gosh,
So
word vomit, oversharing, and
yeah,
I think that's
there
this
will
the
be
point is
TMIs.
just yeah, yeah, and like just I think just this is the point is just being very very honest and very very real, very sincere and authentic. Um, not trying to be anything that we aren't. Just yeah, exactly. It's take it or leave it. Not everything we say will resonate with everyone, but I think it's just bringing a little bit more realness
And
to this
fun.
world. Exactly, exactly. Bring our little touch of crazy.
Yeah. So welcome to Kaleidoscope. And
Welcome.
thank you for sitting through an hour and 20 minutes of us going on about ourselves. We appreciate you already. And, you know, we look forward to episode 2. Anything else to say, Gerry?
No, I think that about covers it. We're gonna
Cool.
we're gonna see where this takes us, and
Yep.
yeah, we'll learn as we go, because we don't exactly know what we're
What
doing,
we're
how
doing.
this is. Yeah, like this this we, this is what we call starting from the bottom.
Yeah. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom, now I don't even want to say the rest of that
Nope,
verse.
nope.
Okay.
Let's just
Yeah.
yeah. And before we get any, we're good.
So yeah, thanks for listening/watching, and we look forward to chatting another day.